Hey there, everyone, and welcome to today's training call for the Freedom Boss Tribe. I'm Jordan Maley. I'm super excited to do this training with you today, talking about the ATM prospecting and follow-up process. As you have questions, those of you who are on live, feel free to type them into the chat. I'm going to do my best to just get through this quickly so that we have a good, clean recording for the training site, and then we'll come back through and answer questions at the end. So feel free to type them in as you think of them, or just save them till the end, and I promise we will definitely get to your questions. So hello, everybody. Let's jump in and get started. Don't make the process harder than it is. I love this quote because it's so true about what we do here at Modere when working to grow our business. I know that, for me, back when I was first getting started in network marketing, I really overcomplicated the process. I saw everything as this big deal. Everything was scary. Everything was overwhelming. And I had to finally get really honest with myself about the fact that I was the one that was making it hard. You know, what we do here at Modere is not necessarily easy. You're going to have to learn new skills, and you're going to have to be disciplined in executing those skills on a weekly basis if you want to grow your business. But what we do here is very, very simple. And I'm really excited about this video because what we're going to do today is really demonstrate how simple this ATM and prospecting process really is here at Modere. A quick review of what we've covered in our training series so far. If you've watched either live or if you've watched all the videos on the training site as we get those loaded on here, then this is what we've covered so far. Your success at Modere comes down to these 4 basic activities. It starts with networking, which is growing your network, meaning that you're consistently meeting new people, either in person or on social media, so that you always have a steady stream of new people to talk to about your business, and you're not stuck going back to the same old family and friends over and over and over again. Your networking then feeds into what you post on social media. And those 2 types of posts are your primetime content, which is the stuff that has nothing to do with your business. It's inspirational, it's educational, it's informative, it's entertaining. And then which then feeds into your promotional social media content, which are the posts that you put on social media that directly or indirectly promote your business. And we've done training videos on how to do those types of posts, so you should be good to go there. And your social media posting then feeds your active prospecting. And your active prospecting is where you actually start inviting people to take a look at Modere, either at the business or the products. You follow up with them using the system, and you enroll them into your business. And this is the cycle, right? You've just got to consistently be networking, meeting new people, posting the right stuff on social media, and doing that active prospecting. And that's how you succeed here. It really is that simple. It really does just come down to these 4 basic things. So what we've learned so far in the training videos is a weekly posting schedule for your Modere business. We've talked about how to expand your network and make new friends on social media, and how to invite someone to take a look at your business. What you're going to learn today is the ATM prospecting and follow-up process. In other words, they said, yes, I'll agree to take a look. Now what, right? What do you do once someone says yes to your invitation? And that's what we're going to cover today. So this is your Modere active prospecting funnel. And this may look like a lot of words on one page, and I want you to really look at these with clarity and not allow the number of steps here to confuse or overwhelm you. I want you to understand from the beginning, this is a very, very simple process, okay? So typically in business, it's going to take 5 to 7 exposures for someone to say yes or no to your business or your products. Did you know that? 5 to 7 exposures. That's what studies show. And basically what that means is it's going to take 5 to 7 steps before someone agrees to join or says, no, you know what, it's really not for me. And what I love about this is it takes away the guesswork, right? It tells us exactly what steps we need to have in place if we want to be enrolling more of our prospects. So if you're just inviting someone and sending one video, or just sticking them into one of the Facebook groups and then never following up or reaching out to them again, or maybe only messaging them once or twice after that, you can see that there's no way you're actually hitting those 5 to 7 steps, right? So you've got to have the steps in place, and we have those steps in place for you here at Modere. So it all starts with your invitation, and that's what we talked about in the last video. And here at Modere, we teach you to invite people to take a look at the business through Messenger. And when they agree to take a look, the first thing you want to do is send them what we call a sizzle video. And that is the How Modere Changed My Life video, okay? So what we like to do is send that video through email using the FTR system. If you're not using the FTR system, you can just send it through email normally. But we like to use the FTR system, and we'll have full training on that coming up very, very soon as well. So, so step number 2 is actually sending that video, and that's when they watch that video. That is exposure 2 for them. All right. Exposure number 3 is when you follow up on that sizzle video. You follow up and see what they liked about the video. And we're going to talk about all of these steps in today's training. So this is just kind of an overview slide, okay? Step number 4 is the presentation. In other words, what that is actually ATMing them into the Facebook groups. Step number 5 is when you follow up on that presentation through Messenger again. So you're sending them a message to follow up. Step number 6 is when you initiate a 3-way message, which also happens through Messenger. And then step number 7 is when you actually send those enrollment steps through Messenger. Now, we say it takes an average of 5 to 7 exposures for someone to say yes or no to your business. That means sometimes it can take less, sometimes it can take more. So we have some additional follow-up steps in place as well, which we'll talk about in this training also. And that is our product Facebook groups, which is our M3, our College and Science, and our Clean Living groups, as well as our business Facebook group, which is Social Retail Live, and the email follow-up series that is sent through the FTR system to people who are in your business prospects folder. So we're going to talk about all of this today and really simplify and clarify the process. Okay, so we're going to jump right to exposure number 3. And the reason we're doing that is because we covered exposure number 1 and 2 in the last video, which is the invitation and actually sending the sizzle video. So once you send them that How Modere Changed My Life video, it's time to follow up, right? And you follow up like this. It's very simple. And we're going to have all of these scripts provided for you along with the replay in the follow-up script download that we have for you guys. Okay, so you don't have to worry about writing all of this down if you're watching live. So you're going to follow up. You send How Modere Changed My Life, and then it's time to follow up with them at that point, right? So you're going to say, "Hey Mary, just checking in. Wanted to see what you liked best about the video. Are you ready to learn more?" This is word for word what I say when I follow up with someone after sending How Modere Changed My Life. It really just simplifies the process. And it's so simple. So you're excited, you're enthusiastic, you're assuming that they want to learn more, right? And so when your prospect says yes, then you simply say, "Great." The next step is for me to add you to a couple of Facebook groups where you can take a look at a few videos that'll explain more about the company and products and how the business works. It will take you about an hour and a half to go over that info. How soon do you think you'll be able to go over that? Mary says, "Oh, well, I can look at that tonight after work." Awesome. I'm going to make sure I'm available to answer your questions so we can determine the next step. I'll touch base with you again here tomorrow around 10 a.m. And I have some additional info I'll send over by email as well. So this is all sent through Messenger as you and your prospect are having this conversation, okay? So you don't have to worry about getting on the phone. You don't have to worry about meeting someone in person. You can send all of this through Messenger as you're having the conversation. Exposure number 4 is when your prospect actually watches the presentation, and this is the actual ATM process. So once Mary agrees, once she says she watches how Modere changed my life. Are you ready to learn more? Yes. Then you move immediately into exposure number 4. And that means you want to add your prospect to Social Retail Live, the Modere Collagen Sciences group, in the M3 Pledge community. Now, we also have a group that is on our clean living products. You can add them there if you want to. I have found that just adding them to Social Retail Live and these 2 product groups works really well for us. My mom and I both do this. However, if you're talking with a prospect and you know they're specifically interested in clean living, then you can add them to that group as well. I just like these 2 groups because there are 2 core product lines, right? So then you want to message your prospect and let them know you've added them to the group. And the reason we have this step in here is because Facebook is initiating some changes where often when you add a prospect to a group, you'll notice you can't tag them right away. And the reason is because Facebook has changed things where they now have to accept the invitation to join, to be added to the group. This is really good news. It means we're not putting people in groups who don't want to be there, so it's fantastic. But it does add an extra step, which is totally simple. All you have to do to get this taken care of is send a message to your prospect after you add them to the group and say, okay, I added you to the groups. Just click on these links to accept my invite. And once you've done that, let me know so I can get the videos to you. And I just provide the links to the 3 groups in that message, okay? And so maybe say business group with the link, collagen group with the link, M3 group with the link, right? So that's all you're doing is you're just wanting them to click on those links so that they accept their invitation into the group. Once they've accepted their invitation, you want to tag your prospect in the pinned post. Now, what I have found is some people will message me and say, okay, I clicked on it like I asked them to. Some people don't message me right away. So what I'll typically do if I don't hear from them, I'll check back into the groups in a few minutes, and go ahead and tag them when I'm able to. Because some people go ahead and accept those invites, but don't let me know that they've accepted them. So I go ahead and check back in myself. And as soon as I notice that they have accepted the invite, then I tag them in the pin post of each group. Okay, so that's very simple. That is how you add and tag your prospects, okay? ATMing. Add tag message, right? Exposure number 5. So once Mary has watched the videos, once your prospect has watched the videos, once they've said they've watched the videos. So, hey, when do you think you'll have a chance to go over all of that? Remember, you ask that when you're setting up that ATM process and they say, well, I can watch it tonight after work. You tell them, great, I will follow up with you tomorrow morning. Well, when that time comes, it's time for you to send a message to your prospect. And again, very simple. Hey, Mary, just checking in. What did you like best about the video I tagged you in? And this is your exposure number 5. This is your follow-up to that presentation. Now, lots of things can happen here. Maybe Mary hasn't watched the videos yet. Totally fine. Just say that's no problem. When do you think you'll have a chance to take a look? She says, I can watch it today. Awesome. I'll check back in here with you again this evening, right? So just want to, whatever she says, you just want to keep that conversation going. So unless your prospect gives a definitive no after watching the videos, they're going to say something like, well, these are my questions, or they're going to say, I really liked this, I really liked the comp plan, or I loved, I really love the customer program, or whatever they're going to say, right? Whatever they tell you. Unless they give you a definitive no after watching the videos, you want to reply with something like, those are great questions, or I love that about Modere as well. And then you want to just say immediately, let me pop a couple of my business partners into this chat so you can see how the system works and get your questions answered, okay? So this is where people get tripped up. It's like, well, how do I start the three-way message? This is how you do it. It's so simple. So, you say, hey, Mary, just checking in. What did you like best about the videos I tagged you in? Oh my gosh, I thought the comp plan video was really, really interesting. I'm curious though, how does it work if I want to add customers but I don't want to build a team. Well, Mary, those are great questions. Let me pop a couple of my business partners into this chat so you can see how the system works and get your questions answered. See? Very simple to say. And then at that point, you're going to immediately move into exposure number 6, which is the three-way message. And I think it's kind of funny that we call this a three-way message because sometimes we have way more than 3 people in here, and that's totally fine. But what you want to do is you want to start a new chat window with your prospect, your sponsor, and your upline, okay, which can be 2 to 3 people. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this now. Always feel free to include myself and my mom, Kathy Schneider, in your messages, your group messages with your prospects. Even if you're not personally sponsored by us, we are always happy to help with group messages with your prospects, okay? So always feel free. You don't have to include us if you don't want to, but always feel free to include us. You're never bothering us. We love doing three-way messages. We've gotten really good at them. So let us know if we can help you with those, okay? Always feel free to just start up a group message with us and your prospects. You also always want to include your sponsor, so whoever personally enrolled you in the business. And, you know, there might be somebody else that you want to include as well. You know, maybe you want to include your sponsor and their sponsor and me and my mom, right? So you can do that. Don't worry about it. Just feel free to include whoever you want. Just make sure it's someone at least in your upline and not like a cross-line person or whatever. So this is how you start the three-way message, okay? Hey, Kathy and Jordan, I just want to introduce you to Mary. She's taking a look at Modere, and I wanted to introduce you to so she could see how the system works and see the amazing support we have here at with our team, right? That's what you want to do. Hang on one second, you guys. All right, sorry about that. Had some yard guys show up and they were going to start making noise, so I had to close the door. Okay, so hey, Jordan and Kathy, I wanted to introduce you to Mary. She's taking a look at Modere, and I wanted to introduce you to so she could see how the system works and see the amazing support we have here at our team. That's all you have to say. And then if your prospects have questions, you could add a sentence that says, she has a couple of questions. She watched the videos on the comp plan, but is wanting some more clarity on how everything works if she's wanting to just add customers and not build a team, okay? So you want to restate your questions that your prospect asked you one-on-one in the message. Sometimes your prospect hasn't asked any questions. They just told you what they liked best, right? So at that point, all you have to say is, you know, I just wanted to introduce you to so she could see how the system works and see the amazing support we have here with our team. And then at that point, you just want to be quiet, right? I said shut up, and I'm kidding because I don't ever want it to sound mean, but really this is where you get to just take a breath and relax and let your upline take it from there, okay? And your upline's going to say, hey, Mary, so nice to meet you. Would love to hear more about you and your story and your goals, and they're going to get your prospect talking, and they're going to find out what your prospect is interested in, what they're not interested in, what they're worried about, what their objections might be. Your upline is going to take it from there, okay? So you don't have to worry. You can just sit there and be quiet and let your upline do the talking. And what we've found to work the best is, you know, we don't all try to answer our prospects' questions at once, right? So if there's 3 or 4 of us in a message and your prospect asks a question, you know, whoever sees it first will usually answer it, and the other people will just, you know, maybe like the comment or whatever. But we don't ever want your prospect to feel like they're being ganged up on, so you don't have to worry about that. We're not going to gang up on your prospects. We're really respectful, and we'll make sure that we are enthusiastic and encouraging and answer their questions and address their objections without them feeling pressured or feeling like they're being pushed, okay? So this is all you have to do to start a three-way message. At some point during the three-way message, it's going to be time to send over the enrollment steps, okay? Maybe your prospect is going to say, how much does it cost? Or how do I get started? Or they're not going to have any more questions really at this point, okay? And so during this point, once you've either established that they have no more questions or they're asking about the cost or how they get started, then you just want to say, you know what, I'll send over the enrollment steps and kits so you can take a look, right? And you want to send the enrollment kit Smart Pack link from the FTR system straight in this message. Or if you're not using the FTR system yet, ask your sponsor or upline to send it over for you, okay? So if you're not using the FTR system, in the message just say, awesome, I will have Kathy and Jordan send over the enrollment steps or something like that. And what you do here, for those of you that do have the FTR system, you just log in, you go to marketing, you click on Smart Packs, you find the enrollment steps Smart Pack, and you're just going to click on the blue actions button, generate link, and put that link right into the message, and you're good to go. Okay, so for more training on that, definitely watch the FTR training, and we'll cover all of that in detail. But this is really exposure number 7. You want to send those enrollment steps. We have found this works really, really well for getting people off the fence and to actually make a decision. Okay. All right, so let's talk about additional follow-up steps. Your prospect won't always be ready to get started right away. So the really great thing about Modere is we have so many pieces in place to help continue to stay in touch with your prospect, as they work through and decide, when it's a good fit for them. So the Facebook groups, first of all, there's content posted in these groups every single day, which is going to provide ongoing follow-up for your prospects. This is amazing. You don't have to do a thing. It's just happening for you already. If you're using the FTR system, your prospects are also going to receive the pre-written email follow-up series after they've agreed to be ATM'd. And again, you want to watch the FTR system training to make sure you know how to get them into that series if you're using the FTR system. But that email follow-up series is amazing at helping them, kind of leading them through a decision and letting them know when it's time to actually pull the trigger and jump in and get going. Next, you've got your weekly check-in, okay? So you want to continue to check in with your prospect on a weekly basis until they make a decision, unless they ask you to stop. And you don't want these conversations to be all business. Of course, you do want to see where their head is at, if there's anything additional you can get done for them. But you want to continue to build that relationship and just check in on a weekly basis. Hey, Mary, just checking in. How's it going? How's your week going? What's going on? Just something like that. You want to be checking in on a weekly basis. After that, let's see. Nope. Got it. Monthly virtual event. So every month you want to follow up with all of your prospects by inviting them to the virtual event. So anyone who you've invited to take a look but has not said yes or no yet, you want to invite them to the virtual event every single month. So what's so cool about this is maybe you don't have a ton of prospects in your first virtual event, your first month here at Modere, maybe you don't have a ton of prospects at the virtual event. But imagine if you're consistent in your prospecting and your follow-up, how many people you'll have attending virtual events by month 4, 5, 6, right? So at the time of this recording, last month was our 5th virtual event, I believe. And my mom and I had 8 people sign up as a result of that event. But we had a lot of prospects in there who had been in our funnel for a long time. So just recognize that the virtual event is a great additional follow-up step for your prospects. And then finally, your own social media posts. Remember to stay consistent with your own posting, your direct and your indirect posts, as well as primetime content. Just last month, I did a indirect post that resulted in 2 people signing up. These people were already in my funnel. They'd already agreed to take a look. They'd already been ATM'd. I'd been following up with them, but they hadn't made a decision yet. Something about that post triggered a response in them, and they made the decision to get started, okay? So you want to remember to be doing that with your own social media posts as well, okay? So that's really all we have for you guys for this training. We wanted to keep it short and sweet. You want to remember to just follow these simple steps as you are working your business. It's that simple. There's nothing complicated about it. You want to invite them to take a look, send the How Modere Changed Your Life video, then follow up, ATM them, start that three-way message, and off you go. It's very, very simple. We have created a couple of PDF documents, which will be included around the recording of this video. So you're going to have a list of all the prospecting steps so you can keep track of them. And then also the scripts for what you say at each step in the process. Okay, that way you don't have to go back and take notes or write all of this down. I do want to encourage you though, watch this video a couple of times because it's very, very important. This is one of the most important elements to building your business. So you want to make sure that you have this down. For those of you that are on live, going to go ahead and see if there's any questions. Feel free to type those in. I'm happy to answer them. And we'll have the recording posted in the next couple of days. I'll wait just a second, see if there's any questions. Don't see anything, but I do know there's a little bit of a delay. So I'll give you guys just a second to type those in. All right, looks like no questions. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks so much for tuning in live. And those of you watching the replay, thanks for watching. Let us know in the group. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to post in the Freedom Boss Tribe group. That's what we are here for. And there are tons of knowledgeable people in these groups who will help you get your questions answered for sure. So look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great rest of your day.